What's up, everybody? Okay, I'm back. It's a Saturday. That last live stream I did was last Monday, which was a very weird day to do a live stream. So we're back, normal time, live stream time. Our discount for today, I'm going to run the same discount that I did last week since it hasn't even been a full week yet. RB 500, 50% off my ear training course, 50% off the Beato book, and 50% off on my Quick Lessons guitar program. All right, so this deal is going to end after this weekend. So if you wanted to get these things, this is the time to do it. Okay, so I was driving my girls to school yesterday, and I started listening to the top 20 or the top charts, the top 50 charts on in the car. And when I got to dropping off Layla, the new Charlie Puth song came on. We start playing it, and I was like, "Oh, I remember this song from TikTok when Charlie put out the first. It's called Light Switch when he just did a little teaser thing of it on TikTok a few months ago." And Layla was like, "Oh, I know this song." And then Layla was getting out of the car, and she freaks out if I'm playing any music because she doesn't want anyone to know, the teachers that get them out of the car, that I actually listen to music. Both of my kids are like that. They're like, turn the music off. Like the teachers actually care that I'm listening to music. So I turned it off. I thought, oh, I'll check it out when I get back to the studio. So I come back to the studio, and I open up Spotify, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking down the charts for it. I wasn't paying attention as the things were going by, but I look at it, it's like 31, and it has an arrow down, which means it's lost its bullet. For those of you that follow, radio charts for years, doesn't matter what chart you're on, whether it's Billboard charts or iTunes charts or Spotify or whatever it is, right? If the bullet means if it's increasing in spins or streams, then you have a green arrow or an upward. The song is rising, and if the streams are decreasing, the song is falling. Okay, and it's relative to whenever it's just looking at trends. It's like the stock market, whatever. It's looking at the trend of the song. If you lose your bullet, typically it's never a good thing, right? So I'm like, okay, well, what is wrong with this song? So I thought, let me actually listen to the song. And so I figured, well, let's listen to the song here and find out why this is, is there a problem with this song? So I'm going to play it for you. Let's check it out.
Yeah. Why you calling at 11:30 when you only wanna do me dirty? But I hit right back 'cause you got that, yeah. Why you always wanna act like lovers, but you never wanna be each other's? I say don't look back, but I go right back in. All of a sudden I'm hypnotized. You're the one that I can't deny. Every time that I say I'm gonna walk away, you turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. Now I don't wanna fight this. You know how to just make me want you. Turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. You got me in a tight grip. You know how to just make me want you, baby. Do you love it when you keep me guessing? When you leave and then you leave me stressing. But I can't stay mad when you walk like.
Okay, so it occurred to me what is wrong with the song when I'm listening to it. First of all, it's got too interesting of a melody. Okay, it actually is really too good of a melody. It's not monotonous enough. It uses great sounds. I'm looking at some of the comments. Oh, it's TikTok-y. I disagree. The lyrics are definitely not offensive enough. That's another problem with the song. It has really interesting harmony parts to it. So that's obviously another strike against the song. There's no trap beats, right? if you actually go to the top of the charts here, I was like, okay, well, what's at the top of the charts? Why is this not, why is this not rising? And I start listening to songs like this.
Knees mopping down a pee. She let me squeeze and she leave cause she keep
Okay, and then
suite,
I put on the next song,
We could have been superstars.
and it's pretty much just the same.
When we were jacking cars.
Obviously the same drum parts.
When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say, you don't run from.
Bass. Okay, so it has no trap beats to it. That's another problem with it. Too many interesting chords. It's too hooky. The arrangement is really well done, and it doesn't have enough writers on it because there's only 3 writers on it. The song is actually an excellent song, right? It's actually very well written. It's very well sung. It's got a really interesting melody. All these things about this are actually why it's not working.
Yeah.
Listen to this again. Perfect melody there.
But I hit right back 'cause you got that, yeah.
Really good
Why
melody.
you always wanna act like lovers, but you never wanna be each other's. I say don't look back, but I go right
This
back,
part's
yeah.
really good.
All of a sudden I'm hypnotized. You're the one that I can't deny. Every time that I say I'm gonna walk away, you
Okay. He uses that 9th on that, which is beautiful. And then on the major 7th. Then on the D chord, does the 2nd to the 3rd. Really great melody there. Then the chorus.
You turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. Now
Beautiful.
I don't wanna fight this. You know how to just make.
And that's great. Really odd intervals there. Really musical, right? So the other thing, there's no expletives in this, right? And so it doesn't have offensive lyrics. I mean, this is really well done pop music. This is stuff that I can say, yeah, this is really smart melodic music that is produced by himself, and it's very musical, right? I mean, yes, does it have autotune on it? Yes. But this is a very tasteful use of autotune, even though, as I said, Charlie Puth has perfect pitch, and he doesn't really need autotune. So when he's using autotune, the uses of it are in a really musical way. But that pre-chorus is just is very well
I say
done.
don't look back, but I go right back. Yeah. All of a sudden I'm hypnotized. You're the one that I
Great
can't
harmonies.
deny. Every time that I say I'm gonna walk away, you turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around it.
Now, it's a pop song, right? And I see people saying, Rick, it's a horrible song. It's a horrible song to old people. Okay, but to kids, it's not. I don't think it's a horrible song to a lot of kids. It was huge on TikTok when he released it. Probably the problem with the song actually was that everybody knew the song. They knew the hook 6 months ago when he debuted it. He played the chorus on TikTok, and it became a really big hit right then before the song came out. And that's really what was the problem, why people already feel like they've heard this, because it went through. There was a lot of stitches, a lot of people were stitching to this on TikTok, and it was a big hit on TikTok. And it's really interesting to me that about that some of the stuff that's at the top of the charts, that we still have all these trap beats. I mean, so many of the top songs. I'm from Atlanta. Trap music came from Atlanta here. These kind of. I mean, I was joking with Aaron. I said, I haven't noticed that cicada hi-hat, the really fast hi-hat rolls. I haven't noticed it as much. He's like, what are you talking about? It's all over everything. I was like, let me listen again. So I started playing. And it's literally, it's literally in every song pretty much.
Rapping and being a daddy to my little children. I've been spending on business and spending and spending and spending until I'm dizzy. I do all the smack, you know, stuff but help with none of you.
It's just they use the same. They use the same hi-hat songs on so many of these things. The drum sounds are so similar. And I figured that after I made my video on the cicada hi-hat with the hi-hat rolls, my joke video, I think, was it Billy? Were you even here when I made that? Billy, were you here when I did that video on the cicada hi-hat? Mm-hmm. That was got to be it has to be 3 years ago, right? Probably.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Long time ago. So I did this video, for those of you that haven't been watching my channel that long, where I said that that those hi-hat rolls on these trap beats, that it sounded like a cicada, and I every time it came around, I just put in an actual cicada and took out the actual hi-hat. And then I started hearing people using that term cicada hi-hat. Some other people said it sounds like a lawn sprinkler that would go around, that would do that really fast hi-hat roll, those fast hi-hat rolls. But some of the songs that are on the charts here, like this Heat Wave song, Heat Waves by Glass Animals. This song has been around. Once again, sometimes all I think about is you. Same thing, right? It has that trap beat hi-hat. And it's in the middle of June. He always been faking me out. This song is also, oh my God, this is 2 years old, I think. Because I remember the Diplo version of this from 2 years ago. The remix that he did from 2020. Now we're in 2022. And then I went and looked, and it's big on TikTok again. So that's really why these songs are just, it's having so much of an impact on on how charts are moving and actually how people are consuming music, it's pretty amazing. I've never seen anything like this. Back, historically, you had to pay people, and I'm talking, let's go back 5 years, 6 years, with traditional radio. You basically had to pay radio stations, either through independent promoters or to go to the stations and do events for free if you were trying to get your, for new artists, if you're trying to get your single played on stations. And record labels were having to pay $500,000 to get a song up in the charts. I know that I had a number one song back in end of 2013. So that would be 8 years ago, 9 years ago now, something like that, 9 years ago. And, the label is a country song, and the label spent $500,000 on promoting it. They just did. And that's just the way it was. And it was like that for years. People would just pay. It would cost, $500,000 to promote a song, any song, to get it up in the charts. That was just part of the whole gig. And now, if it gets pushed by TikTok and becomes big, then it makes the charts move. It's rendered independent promoters completely useless, basically, right? So there's no independent promotion of music. Social media can move songs so quickly that that it changes the trends on the charts just in days, in one day. It's really, really remarkable. So this is nothing that I've ever seen before, that a social media, that any type of platform, independent of the music business, can actually change people's listening habits so quickly without, I mean, you're really not having to pay people to do that. Is there some stuff like that going on? Probably. I mean, there's probably things that start trends with bots, I would imagine. But TikTok is according to every person that I've talked to that I know at major labels, TikTok is the driver of all popular music that we hear right now. Pretty amazing. I mean, really, really amazing. So I'm not sure where this is going as far as in the future. Everybody's like, oh, yes, this is going to be around for a long time. But you know, with these social media platforms, that these things kind of come and go. Typically, I don't think that with YouTube, not because I'm on YouTube, but I don't think of YouTube as a social media platform. YouTube is a really a place where people go to watch long form content, and you don't interact with people in the same way. You know, my videos are typically anywhere between 8 minutes and an hour long, hour and a half long. It really depends. But most YouTube videos, you know, if you look at Mr. Beast, his videos are 12 minutes long, 15 minutes, 19 minutes long. And he's the biggest YouTuber there is. So there you go. So the long form content, I did a couple talks this week at a couple schools. One at Georgia Tech, which you guys know, which I came back from on Monday when I did my live stream, and I did a talk at one of my kids' schools this week. And I asked the people, how many people use TikTok? And a smaller proportion of people than you would think actually raised their hands. And I asked people, how many people use YouTube every day? I said every day. And just about everybody in both things. This is a college and this was a 7th grade. And everybody raised their hands. And I think that one of the reasons is, you know, on YouTube, gaming is so big, music videos are so big, how-to videos. I mean, people come to learn on YouTube. Instagram is the place that musicians go to consume music. When I look at I post the same shorts here on YouTube that I post on Instagram. And on Instagram, a short will get 1 million views. And on here, my short gets 40,000 views. Because people don't consume shorts on YouTube like they do Reels on Instagram or like TikTok. And there's people that, there's just not a big music thing going on other than playing popular songs on TikTok. There's no real music teaching. I mean, I'm trying. I post things over there, but it doesn't really. I don't think that there's just not enough of an audience on there. And everyone I know, every musician I know is on Instagram. That's kind of the thing. And people that make long form music content are on YouTube. Now, obviously, there are some people that are on Instagram or on TikTok that are musicians, but, you know, It has to be a certain type of short form content. I was watching, I mentioned this in one of my videos, that I was watching Tom Scott, who's a YouTuber, and he did a predictions video that came out about 2 weeks ago or so. And he was talking about the future. Like he showed a video of him in 2012 making predictions about 10 years from then. And then he did a thing where he reviewed his predictions and then made new predictions. And one of the predictions that he made is that, and which is already happening, of course, that he made about the future is going to be short form content, shorter form content, because people like to go and binge watch short form content. They like to just kind of scroll up. That's why TikTok is so successful. And frankly, you know, my wife, she likes YouTube shorts. She likes she doesn't watch reels. And my daughters like YouTube shorts. They will go and watch. Those are the shorts and Dylan will watch shorts on YouTube. So, anyways, so the ability to master short form content is something that that I've been trying to do, work on my short form content for years. And I've been putting videos out on Instagram for, 3 years now or so. I've been doing my quick lessons series, and it's very, very difficult to teach a concept in 1 minute. And to me, that is that there's an art form to that as well. It's kind of like writing a good 3-minute pop song. There's definitely an art form to it. It's not easy. It's not easy to convey information, especially sophisticated information in 1 minute. But I've found that most of my YouTube shorts are not, or my YouTube shorts or my Instagram reels or my TikToks are not even a minute long. I usually go about 45 seconds on it. So it's interesting. Anyways, what I do on here, I teach music. I talk about music. When I'm figuring out this Charlie Puth song, I know what the chord progression is immediately. I have my guitar tuned down a half step, by the way. It's really E flat minor, G flat major, D flat major, A flat minor is the chord progression to the song, to that light switch song. But when I hear it, I hear 6, 1, 5, 2. Okay, so I'm using relative pitch to go through and say, okay, I recognize what this chord pattern is, because I know what the interval relationship is between the bass notes from one bass note to the next, and I can recognize whether it's a major chord or minor chord. And I do that through ear training, which is why I built my Beato ear training course, right? That's the reason I created all my things that I sell on my channel are educational. I say it every week. I sell music education teaching things, right? I sell my music theory book, my Beato book. I sell my ear training course to help people develop their ears. And I have my quick lessons guitar course, right? That's it. That's all I sell. I sell 3 music teaching things. And the most important skill that you can have before music theory is being able to hear intervals and recognize the sonorities, the chord qualities, whether a chord is major or minor, whether a chord is diminished or augmented, if it has an add 9, if it has an 11 in it, if it has an add 4, whatever it is, if it's a sus chord, you need to be able to recognize those things if you want to be a really good musician. If you even want to be an average musician, you should be able to recognize those things. It's really important to have a great ear. The ear is the driving force behind playing any kind of music, right? So discount code for today's live stream, this is my ad that I put in my video, is RB500. It's 50% off my ear training course, my Beato book, and my Quick Lessons guitar program. Quick Lessons guitar program has 5 hours of content, of videos. My ear training course is interactive. It has videos. It keeps track of your statistics, how you're doing with your ear training, and it begins with the simple, which pitch is higher or lower, and goes into intervals and teaches you those, and it goes into recognizing the differences between major and minor, diminished and augmented, going through. Then it goes to seventh chords, and it goes to added note chords. It does, all different types of seventh chords with alterations. Moves on to chord progressions, and that is, the most important skill for a musician to have is to have a great ear. Better than anything. I was talking with somebody about Wes Montgomery this week. I actually I talked to Wes's son. Wes was the greatest jazz guitar player ever. And he asked me about his dad died when he was 6 years old. And he asked me, his dad couldn't read music. Wes couldn't read music. But people assume that people that can't read music don't know anything about music or don't know music theory. Wes understood chord progressions, and Wes had one of the greatest ears ever, which is why Wes is one of the greatest improvisers ever. And that is really the key to that. It's like he knew about chords. He knew about the notes in the chords. Being able to read music, is I'm not saying it's pointless, but it's not really a necessary skill to be a music producer, to be an instrumentalist. If you're going to play in a symphony orchestra, you got to be able to read music. If you're going to be a piano, if you're going to play concertos as a violinist, you have to be able to read music. You do, to learn the repertoire. To be a music producer, you don't need to be able to read music, but you need to have a good ear. Being a good ear also is about recognizing good sounds. These are the things. When I hear Charlie's stuff, I hear this is really well arranged, this new song. Yeah, you can say what you want about the lyrics. They're poppy lyrics and everything. And but the sound, his choice of sounds are excellent. And the arrangement is really, really well done. And that's the thing, is that another thing of having a good ear, one of the reasons that I was able to be successful as a music producer is I was able to recognize sounds. And that's about recognizing frequencies, right? So if a kick drum is too muddy sounding and you need to make room for the bass, you remove frequencies, usually between 300 and 800 hertz. Okay, that's the mid-range of the kick. You dump those things out and you leave room for the bass, right? Or you'll shelve the low end of the kick drum and you'll let the bass ring through, or you shelve the bass on the bottom end and let the kick have the low end, depending on what the style is of the music. Or if a guitar sounds too nasally, it's got too much 1K. Or if something needs more presence, you're going to add 3K, right? So having a good ear is not just about being able to recognize intervals, but being able to recognize intervals and chords and things like that will help you become a better producer and help you understand how to put mixes together, what the right balance is, right? This is another important thing of developing your ear through ear training, is that it will help you as a producer, as a mixer, as an engineer, and you'll be able to recognize things. If you want to even learn production techniques, you've got to be able to hear through really dense mixes. And that was one of my critiques when I did my Spotify metal countdown list last week, or whenever it was, a week and a half ago. One of my critiques of a lot of the bands is that the mixes were just wall of sound mush that were too compressed. And one of the things is you can't hear anything. You can't distinguish the guitars. You can't really distinguish what the individual guitar lines are. The Charlie Puth song, you can hear every part. Every part's clear. And that's proper production, right? You should have it. Even if you have wall of sound, there's a lot of amazing records that have this wall of sound, but yet everything is clear. So you can do that, but you got to develop your ears for that. Anyways, RB500 is a discount code for today. Get my Beato ear training, get the Beato book, get my quick lessons. If you're not an instrumentalist, not a musician at all, want to support the channel, you can donate. There's a link to donate in the description here. And got a big announcement coming up this week. And I have a couple really great interviews happening that are coming up very soon. Somebody says, do I like Charlie or not? I think Charlie's great. Emmanuel just asked me. Watch the video. My thing was a snarky view on this about Charlie is really interesting, which is maybe why the single's not doing that well, is because it's really well done. It's really melodic. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend.